I want y'all to be encouraged and knowing that when people come to try to bully you out of nowhere, it's not about you. And you probably heard this tons of other times on social media and in other spaces about how the way a person treats a person is a reflection of them. And this is so true. Now, for this particular case, I'm going to go in on why someone would disrespect you to make somebody else feel comfortable. And it all is centered on that person. If this is a person that's an adult, it's because that person is a weak person. That person do not live for God. I don't care if they say they go to church. I don't care if they say they pray every day. Whatever it is they're doing, they're not doing it with God in mind. They're not walking according to the ways of the Spirit of God. Because the fruit of the Spirit is love. Love would not seek to hurt someone that have not done anything to them. So let me explain to you what's going on with this person that wants to shame you in front of others and even shame you for the cause of making someone else feel comfortable. That person has stopped growing up emotionally from the time they turned about 12 or 13 years old. You know why? Because that's what they do. 12 and 13-year-old adolescents will embarrass someone to make themselves feel good. Why? Because they want to be accepted by the in crew. When you see a 30, 40, 50, or 60-something-year-old man or woman do that to someone, that's shameful. And that shows that emotionally, they are stuck in middle school. Emotionally, they have not matured when they are so wrapped up in the appearance of impressing people that they will go after an innocent person and put someone down in front of someone else to make others feel comfortable. That is someone operating from a teenage, adolescent mentality. That means that person is childish at their core. And when you're dealing with a child in a grown person's body, it can get challenging at times because you got to be able to look past the outward thing. Yes, they can do stuff that adults do, like pay a bill, drive a car, and all that. And I mean, if you teach a teenager that young, they can do it too. And there are some that do it, and some I've even known to have done it younger than that. So while they're walking around with adult obligations, their heart and their emotions is still stuck in the 7th grade. And so what you have to realize, that when somebody disrespects you out of nowhere or finds an opportunity to have an audience, there's something in them that's still 12 years old or 13. There's something in them that is still stuck in middle school. And again, this is why somebody will embarrass you or attempt to embarrass you and humiliate you to make someone else feel comfortable or to gain acceptance from a certain group. All right. If the people that you are around are professionals, you might have a clique of professionals that are broken people. They might be broken. They thrive off each other. And at times, you might have a leader there as well that wants to impress them. They want to be in the in crew too. Even though they're supposed to be the leader, they want to be a part of the in crew instead of leading with integrity and kindness. But you cannot be impressed with people these days because you don't know who you walk into that is still emotionally and even mentally processing things on a middle school level, 12-year-old level. So the question becomes, what do you do about it? And my first go-to is when you see things like that happening, especially if it happens one time and you feel some type of way, always take it to God in prayer. Always take it to God in prayer. When you notice someone's mistreating you and being unfair, People who are morally void on equity and fairness and stuff, they still are on certain levels of immaturity. And again, you got to look past the exterior. And the way that you go about it first, like I said, prayer, then the next question becomes, do you act, or how do you act? What it comes down to, do not say anything hastily. For those of y'all that are able to hear God, because God, he will either put the words in your mouth or tell you what to say. And I remember one time I had to check somebody on the spot because they called themselves trying to put me on blast in front of everybody. And now I've had that happen a couple of times, but there was one time in particular where one person was manipulating everything right and left because this person had an issue with me because I stood up for myself against injustice that was being done to me. And that person was on the receiving end of hearing that these were things that were being done that was not fair. So long story short, this person waited until they got an audience. And now I want to belittle you in front of others to show how powerful I am. And that was the mentality of that person. And when that person did that, I sat quietly, I waited, and I knew when that person finished speaking what I was going to say, and it was well calculated. So in the midst of disrespect, with the boldness that you have, don't fly off the handle. Keep your composure and check that person. And what I said was, it was in under 5 words. I didn't try to cuss that person out or none of that. And that was enough to have that person to have it out for me. That person's ego was shredded. That person had it out for me. And see, in whatever it is, when a person has a vendetta against you and they want to deal with you in a way that's not becoming of a responsible adult, they're going to operate on that middle school mentality. And the main thing they do is they try to get an audience to applaud and see how great they think they are. And that's why it's good to walk with God, because he'll give you the wisdom in that moment. He'll give you the wisdom to know how to navigate. When they think they're going to outsmart you and they think they're going to put you in a corner, only thing God got to do is give you 1, 2 words or a few words to shut it down. And when I tell you that person's feelings were hurt, when I was finished with that person, oh, they was trying everything they could to make my life miserable, to disrespect me and all. And God still has the upper hand. Now, I share this with y'all because when you are operating with a high level of integrity, emotional intelligence, when you're doing what you're supposed to do and you still got somebody that calls themselves being a busybody and they want to make your life miserable, do know that it is a reflection of them. And at the end of the day, don't be reactive, because when they do it all of a sudden, they want to ruin your confidence. And some people, they do things because they're trying to find your flaws too. And for those that don't know you and they're trying to know you, but somehow they're envying what they know about you, some of them, they're going to do things to put you in a situation just to see you squirm. Only thing you do is just navigate it like you're unbothered. What do I mean? I remember one time I was at a meeting and somebody put me on the spot. It was unsuspecting. The person knew that I was unprepared for what was in front of me. And I was caught off guard. I was agitated, I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, when I was able to gather myself, I addressed whatever it was. I was straightforward. I didn't lie. I didn't try to pretend like I had everything together. I was straightforward. And you know, that's adult right there. You know, when somebody try to put you in the middle of a mess, if you don't have it together, be adult enough to say, we don't have all the details to it yet. And that's pretty much what I had to do. But at the end of the day, when I went back to reflect, I had to realize that the person did it on purpose. The person knew, because I told the person that we did not have all of it together. But the person was like, well, go ahead and tell everybody about what we're going to do. We're not going to do anything because we don't have it together. And the person knew that. So I was more like this. When I see that person, I want to teach that person that you're going to find whatever side you want with me. You're going to either be nice to me and cordial, or you're going to leave me alone. And what I had started doing is teaching that person, don't bother me. Don't bother me. Because whenever this person would get an audience, they would start showing out and trying to flex, because this person was also over me in rank. So the person would try to flex whenever this person had an audience. So again, when you see an adult in the body, it does not always mean that they are an adult in their mind and in emotions. Because middle schoolers can do what they do too, such as drive a car. They may not have those degrees yet, but when we're talking about interacting with people, treating people right, and those who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, they're still treating people unfairly, disrespecting others, throwing people under the bus, be accepted. That's a middle schooler mentality. Anybody that does that to somebody is still in the mind of a 12-year-old. Ain't no getting around it. They're still in the emotional capacity of a 12-year-old. Anybody that feels good and gratified by that, they're still stuck in middle school emotionally and mentally. So that's what you have to understand about someone that will embarrass you and mistreat you and treat you mean out of the blue, no reason, no motivation other than what is going on within them. That's why when people mistreat you, it's not a reflection of who you are, especially if you did not do anything to warrant it. It is a reflection of the character of the person that did the deed. And I'm telling you, we be scratching our heads sometimes trying to figure out, where's this disrespect coming from? What have I done to this person? Why is it that this person is rubbing me the wrong way? That's why. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's where their heart and their mind is. And you got to remember what Apostle Paul said, that when I was a child, I spake as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. There are some people, they're still acting as a child, speaking as a child, and they have not put away childish things. That's why they showed you who they are. That's why they're so hard up for respect, power, and prestige that they will neglect the morals to impress other people. That's why they got to throw you under the bus. They got to look for somebody that they think is unsuspecting. And look, you are not without help. There are ways you can actually handle those people. First of all, don't react. Don't react. Don't be ashamed of what they did to you. Because again, it's a reflection of what's going on in their mind. Anybody that decides that they're going to hurt you, and the only thing you were doing was respecting them. Don't react. Another thing is to pray about it. Pray about how to navigate it with that person. Ask God what to do about that person. Okay, when a man lacks wisdom, ask God. So if you don't know how to handle this person, some of these people, they're hotheads, so you can't approach them because they're ready for you. So that's why you ask God, how do I handle this person? Some of these people you might have to confront on a verbal level. But again, ask God how to navigate it. Another thing is, if you have to confront them, Be straightforward and simple with what you have to say. And 9 times out of 10, if God gives you that message of what to say, it's going to hit. When a person does demeaning things to you, they know what they're doing. It's not your job, other than as a responsible Christian, to pray for them. It's not your job to make them like you or convince them that you are a good person. They knew what type of person you was when they started picking on you. They knew you mind your business. They knew you didn't bother anybody. They knew you wasn't a troublemaker, but they came to start trouble. So what you do, again, teach them how to treat you. So I want to encourage y'all in this message, because again, some people, they have their nerve, and guess what? We have ours too. Some people, they want to step on your toes and they don't want you to say ouch. Now that we are adults, it's time to put away childish things, and just know that when somebody has done something like that to you, they still have not put away childish things. If this message has been encouraging to you, hit the subscribe button, and God bless you.